All right. Happy New Year. It's the last time I'm going to say that. I've been waiting to say that. Happy New Year to you guys. Welcome back, I guess is another way. We can all kind of reload in this cold weather. As you know, we stop and celebrate and recognize all sorts of people and achievements and things, and we're going to do that this morning. We'll start with our Employee and Officers of the Month. So our Employee of the Month for November 2024 is Miss Linda Ashley. Will you step here? Here we go. Anybody have an idea what division she works in? Is there a giveaway at all? I think that's the coolest uniform. Linda Ashley recently transitioned her role as Behavioral Care Center technician and has already established herself as a respected member of the team. She arrives to work every day with a positive attitude and helps lift up the residents and staff alike. Ms. Ashley has taken time during her shifts to help facilitate positive conversations with the female residents, which she calls chit-chat girl talk. I have no idea what chit-chat girl talk is, but it sounds good. To help promote recovery-oriented thinking and positive life changes for the women we serve. If Ms. Ashley has a busy shift and hasn't yet had time for these conversations, she has noted that the women ask her when she'll be available to facilitate this for them. I was so impressed with her professionalism, attitude, and work ethic. Ms. Ashley has expressed that she has worked in corrections for a long time and that the opportunity to see some of the residents we serve in the BCC setting is truly uplifting. The BCC staff and residents are very lucky to have her as a part of our team, and she deserves to be recognized for her contributions. Congratulations to you. There we go. See how Reggie makes us. Watch it. See how mean he is? There, hang on one second. We got some more goodies. All right, we're gonna give you one of our coins and a pen. And there's 8 hours of leave as well. And you have a tumbler at your seat. Congratulations to you. Thank you very much. So, you can sneak over. So, I get to hang out a few minutes before we come down here every time. And it's my favorite part. This is probably better for them. This is what they deserve. But just to sit and talk to people and so they're talking to Miss Ashley. She was born in Nashville. Those are cool people. Born and raised in Nashville. Those are really cool people. There aren't very many of us, but we have that in common. But worked in corrections a long time, and she's talking about working in the BCC. And this is I'm a little biased on it. I bragged about you, Miss Burgundy, up there a minute ago too. Miss Gaines, I was already bragging about you too. But here's something I want you to remember. She said last night at her shift, a former resident came back, knocked on the door and says, "Can I come in? Need something to eat, like to see some of the folks and check in on you." I'm not trying to be corny, but I want you to remember this. There's not a one of you in this room, or me, and I've been in this all my life, who've ever had an inmate come knock on the door and ask to come back in the jail. It's not your fault, but the system is set up as jail has a purpose. I think we do great at that purpose. But it means a lot to me that the people who work in the VCC and the person who was in need at 20 degrees last night came walking back up to a facility and knocked on the door. I think came in and ate, got warm, hung out a while, and I think even wanted to stay. I'd love to say stay. One of these days that'll happen. But it's a lot, everybody who's wearing blue and everybody who wears everything else. The fact that that person felt comfortable enough to come back tells you a lot about what was going on when the person was with us before. So Miss Ashley, everybody, not just in the BCC, but we have a purpose, and sometimes jail's purpose is not always welcoming. It's just the way it is. And unfortunately, we don't get to see that in the jail environment, nowhere in the country. But in the BCC, the idea and what's going on over there, I think is having an impact on people. And if you felt comfortable enough to come back and ask for more help and get more attention, then we ought to be willing to do that. So super proud of the work and Miss Ashley, who I think has been in corrections since '99. Is that right? Since 1999, and she worked at that other corrections place for a while, and then some wee hour of the morning in 2020 and 5 o'clock in the morning, we're swearing you in to some crazy new place to work. And so we're very fortunate to have you, but tickled to death. So let's meet our Officer of the Month for the month November 2024. Her name is Miss Randa Atealla. You see? It says sometimes the reason for a nomination isn't a life-saving measure or a contraband fine. Sometimes the reasons are much simpler, and that's the case in my nomination of Randa Atealla. Working last-minute Toy Story is an incredibly humbling and fulfilling assignment. However, when working outside, it can also be absolutely freezing, a little daunting when you're one of the people who has to deliver the news to a parent that their child does not qualify. We call it being the Grinch. This is where Security Officer Atealla comes in. I had never met her until the opening day of Last Minute Toy Store. She was assigned to the tent and served as an Arabic translator. From the very beginning, her warm smile made you want to work with her. She was cheerful, incredibly helpful, and willing to assist in every way possible. When she would come across a Grinch moment and knew from the name the parent probably spoke Arabic, she would offer to and didn't hesitate to deliver the delicate news. Instead of waiting to be told that she was needed to assist, she was patiently waiting by the door, opening it and closing it for hours upon end, delivering friendly smiles to parents, and was an absolute joy to work with the 2 days I was there. While being the mother of 2, working on her master's degree, and having a full-time job, she managed to bring even more holiday cheer to the season. It is for these reasons I would recognize her for Officer of the Month. Fantastic, by the way. There we go. There we go. Let's see. All right. There we go. We'll give you a ribbon for your uniform. And there's a pin. There's 8 hours of leave. You well deserve. And there's a tumbler at your desk as well. Congratulations to you. I was trying to think of what she and I have in common. I'm not from Egypt. She's not from Antioch, but we're all a little bit misfits. It doesn't matter how we got here, right? It matters what you do once you get here. And super, super proud of her attitude and what she's doing here, trying to balance raising 2 kids, who I think is trying to get here to join us, maybe, and going to school and working in this line of work, trying to find her way. I was asking her on the elevator, I said, does it snow in Egypt? No. More likely to have the 100-degree temps as I think I would have expected. But super, super fortunate. I think the word diversity gets overused sometimes, and I'm not talking about what we look like. I'm just talking about where we come from and what our life experiences are. And you're sitting there with 2 people going, wow, born and raised in Nashville, transitioned all over, ended up in the BCC, born and raised in Egypt, landed here, working last minute Toy Store, helping families that speak a language I can't speak, who have needs. It's just a pretty cool chemistry of what all is going on. And so congratulations to both of you. Couldn't be more fortunate to have just the attitude. Fantastic to get to spend time with both of you. So, and everybody here. I don't pretend that you get acknowledged enough. I know that's not the case. I love to tell people who've never been and worked in corrections industry that there's no other line of work in the world where you're outnumbered 60 to 1, and they think that's the end of the story. You're outnumbered 60 to 1 is the ratio. But that's not the story. The story is those 60 people don't want to be here. So what other line of work are you outnumbered 60 to 1, not very many, and of the 60, they don't want to be where you are. And that's very hard to keep a positive attitude when there's 60, percentage-wise, people who have a negative view of where they are. It's a very, very tough place to keep a smile on your face and keep an attitude and trying to continue to help people. And I don't think you should ever apologize for what you do, but I also don't think you should understate how difficult the environment is, whatever the line of work or the part that you contribute here. It takes a whole lot of instruments to make this orchestra work, and all of you provide a valuable part of what makes the whole thing happen. Hope you'll keep Officer Robinson in your thoughts and prayers. We were there last night, lost his son in a car wreck. Super, super sad. And I hope you'll keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Making me feel incredibly warm for, for a room full of his family here to be around him. It was rewarding to see that feeling and him be so moved by the agency's support. So I appreciate everybody, and I hope you'll take time to acknowledge him as well. We also lost Phil Kittrell, who was a longtime friend of a lot of ours since we were here last. Longtime sheriff's office person and a longtime friend of many people here, and a lot of you helped, I think, in the last month or so. We sent him a card for his birthday, and went out to deliver the card, and it was really a pretty moving experience for me. I think I'm normal, but I'm uncomfortable when this will be the last time I ever talk to you. And I don't know that, right? I know that, but I don't know what you're supposed to say. I get nervous about talking about the future. I go, oh God, that sounds bad. Don't talk about that. I get nervous talking about the past, right? You're just sitting there, and he was incredibly gracious about people, and here I was trying to say the right thing, and I was worried that you couldn't say something that would comfort someone, and I don't know if y'all have ever done this, but toward the end, I've been there an hour and a half. We had some fun conversations. If you don't know, he had throat cancer. He hasn't had food or drink in his mouth in 14 months. He had a tube that was providing, and so just talking sounded rough, and then you felt bad about asking questions. And he was wanting to talk. And one of the things that was kind of awkward for me was I got up to walk out, and I said something I didn't mean to say. I said, "Are you okay?" I didn't really even, my mouth spoke. Here's a man who had lost, I think he weighed 100 pounds that day. I didn't even recognize the human that I was talking to from the person I knew. Why did I say, "Are you okay?" I didn't even mean to say it. And then I was nervous, right? I'm standing up, and I thought, oh God, I don't mean. And he was so peaceful about it. He said, "I'm just ready to go see my friends." And I thought, what am I worried about? He wasn't uncomfortable with that. He was at peace with his life. And so the reason I'm saying this to you is, just like yesterday, when you're putting your arms around Mr. Robinson, it's not what you say, right? It's being there for somebody, and I'm preaching to myself, but to you too. It's being there. It's not what you say, and sometimes we're all worried about trying to help, and what's helpful is to be there. And so, whether it's the family that's here, I love Miss Ashley said I love where I work. This is where I'm going to retire from. I'm talking about, and she said, we're just a big family. That's my favorite word about this place, because when you have loss, hopefully when you have days where we're celebrating, then it's not what you say, it's being there. And so I appreciate all of you taking the time to reach out and help someone. And a lot of this happens without anyone knowing it, but it's important. Life is not easy, and all this going on in the world, and I hope you'll take time to help each other when we have needs. Speaking of needs, we may all need a sled here in a few days, and so I don't memorize policy, but we have a policy about inclement weather. I think it's posted on the monitor, I'm sure, or you can find it. Here's the way I would just caution you. We will notify everyone, I think it's about 9 o'clock the night before, So as it sure looks like Friday will be a tough day, we will notify. Here's the deal. If you are essential and you don't like the snow, just take the day off. No worries, no problems, no ask. If you're non-essential, we will close business if we do the night before to let you know not to be here, and clearly you're not responsible for that day. If you don't know if you're essential or not, you're essential, and we'll leave it like that. If in debate, you're essential, and but I don't want you getting through the chaos. Obviously we have lives to live, but we also have a job to do, and so as we've done in the past, if your facilities especially, people are at work and are willing to stay. We're not doing the Four Seasons hotels, I don't think, but is Pete in here? Somebody's in here. Yeah, we'll find a way to cover the bill, but don't have a fraternity party and send us all the keg prices. But we will take care of the men and women who are working here who need a place to stay, and I think there's a expectation that you would work the next shift, and we'll cover all of that for you. But I've always found it fascinating in this line of work that when it starts snowing, everybody needs to get home. But the people who are at home don't need to get to work as fast as one who need to get home, and I get that. But we need somebody here working the shifts. And obviously, I think we'll work with you on making that happen. But keep your ears and eyes open. I think today's Wednesday, so I think sometime tomorrow we'll take a look at it. I've always thought that the weather men and women are in business with the milk men and women. And so I think sometimes these things never happen, but we'll sure looks like it's going to get here. So we'll let you know sometime tomorrow. If you've been here any time, if I said the word overcrowding, if I said the word building new facilities, if I said the word immigration, you'd say that was all past us. But in the last week and the next months, those are the things we're going to be dealing with. Overcrowding, building new facilities, and immigration. Now, when I say we, there's a lot to that. There's a lot going on nationally about the immigration subject. I do not expect us to get any more involved, but there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of issues. Talking with our lawyer about this and about expectations and what we're supposed to do with the new federal guidelines and things that are coming out. So a lot of work in that area. We are overcrowded. I'm not telling any of the facility people that. I think everybody here knows that. We are eagerly working to get a new facility to replace the CDM. We've had some movement since we were in here last, some really positive things. We have what I would call seed money, a couple of $1 million to get started, which was really important. But a couple of million won't do anything near what we need. We need 300 million probably to finish it. I think we will get all of that worked out over the next several months. There will be some effort to come into the complex out there and study exactly where that will go. There's a lot of positive things that you don't care a whole lot about. It's down in the weeds, but we've had trouble for years getting the state and the city to agree on that land. There's a lot of real positive steps in that regard. We believe the land is ours being Metro, and therefore, and the state believes it's ours. For a long time, that wasn't the case. That allows us to do what we need to do with the old MDF building, and also allows us to do some things in a more urgent way than we would have. So I'm not good at this. I won't ever forget my friend years ago, Judge Rubin was a judge, and he would always say, I think it'll be done by November. And one time I was cutting up, and he would say that month all the time. And whatever you ask him, he said, I think it'll be done by November. And I finally cut up with him. I said, why do you always say that? And he said, you ever heard me say a year? So I'll just tell you that it's going to happen by November. But we are going to get to work, and I think we'll all start to see some things in that direction. We'll also probably work on, as we've done in the past, kind of a transition team model where we'll get people to help us pull together what we need on that site. So it'll be a lot of work, I would suspect, the next couple of years, and then I would hope we have a new facility opening sometime in November, and we'll make it work. So overcrowding, new facilities, immigration. We're back where we were. The other thing we're working on is our budget, which we normally do this time of year. A lot of work going into the security world. We took over the historic courthouse, and we're trying to get all that resolved, and there's some idea that we may take over some more security functions around the city. So that division has potential to keep growing. Who knows where that ends, but a lot of work going on up in that area. Last Minute Toy Store was a huge hit. A lot of people were there. Obviously, I think nearly 6,400, is that the number? 6,400 or so children were helped, and everybody continues to rave about all that goes on. And many of you, this was kind of an accident how we got into this thing, as far as it wasn't planned, and who would have ever known that it would turn into what is a machine of people and the work that goes into it. So is that Jaden? Is that Jaden? See, let's see. What's up, Jaden? We thought Mom was nervous. Jaden never. All right. But I want to thank all of you for your work at the Last Minute Toy Store. Dale Roble and Kelly and all of them continue to brag about everybody's efforts to make it happen. And the agency does so many things, I think, in making that happen that I don't think we ever expected when we took off. So I want to thank you for all your work in that area as well. What else we got? Chief Rains? All good? Chief Hudson? Chief West?
Just to reiterate what the sheriff said, we will notify everyone by 9 p.m. tomorrow evening. We'll put it on the monitor, we'll put it on Instagram, Facebook, social media. So if you haven't followed one of those, you probably should, and on the notification will also post it on the website.
And if you don't know you're essential, that's easy. If when in doubt, be essential. That's a good way of thinking. Chief Joyner, all good? All right, let's do this. Since we were in this room last, how many people went out of state? Raise your hand. All right. How many people went out of the country? Well, we knew Miss Joseph. She always goes out of the country. I'm just glad you're back. I was wanting to make sure. So we had, well, I'm glad all of you are back. A lot goes on this time of year, and I hope you had a great holiday season. And we're off. There used to be a song in the year 2525. You might know that song? Yeah, but it's 2525, and it wasn't 2025, but we're a long way away. But it's a great song. So anybody have anything else? Jaden, you want to get your picture made? All right, you guys have a great rest of your day. Appreciate all your work.